Welcome to another game review, this time Gods of Metal. Now this is a deck builder for 1 to 4 players where you are a heavy metal band defending the universe against the evil overlords who are coming through some kind of space-time continuum, bringing the demon hordes with them, and you use your music, build fans, write songs in order to cause damage to the demons and kick them out of our universe and make the world safe for heavy metal fans everywhere. Now I'm not typically a deck builder player. I own very few of them, so this is coming from someone who usually plays more board style RPG and miniature games. But I came across this on Board Game Geek and I printed up the print and play, and now it is actually on Kickstarter, so I thought I'd take a look at it, play it. I took it on the road with me on a trip a couple weeks ago, and I've played it a few times, so I thought I'd run through the setup, a little bit of playing, and then give you my thoughts on it. So without any further ado, here comes the setup. Setup for the game is really easy. Now it will come with a board, so it'll tell you where to put everything, but it's pretty easy anyway, even without it. So first you pick your band member. In this case it's a singer. You see the little microphone icon. Next thing you do is go out and pull all the cards that include that microphone icon out of the starter deck. And that creates your individual starter deck, and that's where you draw your hand each turn. Next you take all the metal cards, you shuffle them all up, and this has your roadies, your upgrades, you know, single event items, things that can be added to your hand. Then you pick the first 5, lay them out to make the metal row, and that's where you can buy your upgrade cards from. Next, shuffle up your big demons, the bad guy cards, and depending on the difficulty you want, you can pull 1, 2, or 3 and turn them over. In this case, I pulled over Zephan, and he has his special power, and then his health. And then you lay that out, and because it's single player, I'm just doing a simple single demon. Then you take all of your demon cards, shuffle them up, and these will get drawn each turn based on the demon track, how far along in the game you are. And then the last piece is the song cards. You shuffle all these up, put them on the stage, and this is where you'll do your combat. And there's an upgrade here, then you'll have these cards, and then you'll have your beginning, middle, and end cards, followed by another upgrade slot. Now I just stuck this over here. I just printed up the page with the metal deck, and I mean your metal track telling you how far along in the game and how many demons you pull, and then I'm just using a separate marker. So you put that off to the side. You get your metal tokens and your decibel tokens. I'm just using stuff I made up for a different game for these. And then I don't have health markers, so I'm just using a 10-sided die to mark how much health he has. And that is really everything you need to set up the game and get started. The sequence of play is pretty straightforward. One thing I did forget to mention is at the end of the setup, you go ahead and draw your initial hand, and the typical hand size is 6. However, because it's Fred Mars, he gets 1 extra, so a hand size of 7. So at the end of startup, I should have drawn these cards up and have them at the beginning of the turn. So in a normal turn, the first thing you do is you execute whatever the ability of the demon overlord is. So in this case, the current player discards a card or loses 2 health. So I will just go ahead and discard a card. In this case, I will discard this roadie. The next step is that you flip over your demon cards, and these are based on the demon track. So because there was only nobody has died yet, only 1 demon card needs to be turned over. As players die, you recycle and that track goes up. So in this case it's a metal ranchula, and I can either take the damage or whatever the effect on the card is, or if you have decibel tokens, you can spend the number that you have at the bottom corner here to just kill off the card. But I will just suffer 1 damage and discard 1 card. So I'll just add 1 to my damage token here, and then I have to pick another card to get rid of. So I will get rid of this card, as much as I hate to not be able to get a decibel token. So that is really the end of the demon turn. So at this point the player turn starts, and you play all of your cards out of your hand. So this is a microphone, attach it to the singer. You gain 2 metal power tokens or a decibel token. So I'll take the 2 metal power tokens, put them here. Next I'm going to play this roadie who gets me another metal power token, and discard that card. It does not remain in play. Gain a song card. It's not going to defeat the Overlord, but you would gain a health if you did, so I will draw a song card. Then this one is gain a decibel token, so that will help me do damage when I eventually get there. Discard this one. And then a roadie, that's another metal token that I gain. So then I've played all my cards. The next thing I do is I use these metal power tokens, and I can buy things out of the metal deck here, the metal row. So I have 4. I think what I'll do is I'm going to spend 2 to get the eyeliner here, because then this will later let me overturn more song cards. This just goes straight into your discard deck for later use. And then I don't have enough to buy anything else. So these just hang out here. Then the next step is you get to play your, you put your decibel tokens that you've gotten, so he gets that. And then I can play a song card. So this is a beginning. So the beginning card will, you get a beginning, a middle, and end. The beginning card tells you what the target is when you finally play off the song. The middle one will tell you what happens. And then the last one is an effect. So beginning here. Then you basically, any unused metal tokens get discarded off. Any cards you didn't use get discarded off to your discard pile. And you draw up to your hand size, so I'll need to draw all 7. 1, 2, 6. I don't have enough, so shuffle this up. So I've drawn up to my hand limit, and then play goes off to the next player, and that is the end of round 1. However, since I'm the next player in a 1-player game, I would just go through the whole sequence again. I'd have to discard or take 2 health. This time I think I'll just take 2 health. So 3 wounds. Metal track is still on 1, so draw up one of these. A shadowy creature, I suffer damage equal to the number of overlords in play, so that takes me up to damage of 4. Then I get to play my cards. So again, 1 metal token, 2 metal tokens, and a decibel. So I got a decibel, 2 metal tokens, another decibel, a 3rd decibel, and another metal token, and a 4th decibel. Okay. And so you see how that plays. I did not get another song card, but if I did, this one would have been an end. So this says when the song is completed, choose a player to have something here. And then a middle. Let's just find a middle in here. Alright. So if I played another turn and I got a middle, I'd have, it says the target is the current player. So I lay that down. Targets all players. If the target is all players lose 1 health. And the Overlord can overturn a demon deck card, and it applies to all players, so that would do that. And then this one is, the song is completed. Choose a player to take one card costing 5 or less from the metal row and add it to their discard pile. So here, we'll just take that and go in my discard pile. And then all these decibels would go onto the demon, and when we got to the top number there, he's defeated and the game is over. So that is a very, very short, quick version of how this game plays. So what do I think about the game? Well, first, I don't have a lot of experience with deck builders. It's not something I usually play, so take that into consideration with my comments. And second, I don't have any affiliation with the team bringing this game to Kickstarter or producing the game. I just printed it off of Board Game Geek a few weeks ago, and then when I saw there were some new components in the print and play on the Kickstarter page, I printed those up. So, with those two things in light, one, I can't really talk about the components. It looks like they're going to have all the things that you would need, but I can't comment as to their quality. As far as the artwork goes, you can see it on the Kickstarter page or on Board Game Geek. For me, it's appropriate to the theme, it's approachable, it's kind of lighthearted, doesn't take itself too seriously, and will go across all age groups pretty well. So I think the artwork is pretty good. As far as the rulebook goes, the rulebook is short, quick to the point, has enough illustrations to show you what you need, and is pretty straightforward and gets the rules across pretty well, so thumbs up for the rulebook. As far as the gameplay itself, it's very straightforward mechanics, easy to play, you can get into it pretty quick, it's very regimented, so I don't think there's a ton of depth of decision making, but there are a lot of decisions to be made, and how you allocate your resources and whether you protect your health, or do you kill the monster, do you take the damage. Not complex questions, but a lot of them, and each one does have a consequence. So not so much depth that it drags the game down or makes it real complicated, but enough to keep it interesting. If you're looking for something with a whole lot of depth, this is not probably the game for you, but if you want something that's rapid, easy to learn, and has decisions that make a difference, then maybe it is. As far as replayability, I think that it's got a decent amount of replayability, especially for a game that's not that expensive. It's got 6 overlords that come with it, plus one, I think in the Kickstarter, there's a Kickstarter exclusive one maybe. And then, multiple band members, and how you scale it, the scalability is good. I enjoy games that you can scale, so having 1 overlord, 2 overlords, or 3 overlords actually helps with that replayability piece. And then there's also, the expansion packs that you can get. And what I'm picturing in my head is probably something that looks like a baseball card pack with an overlord and a new band, or, maybe monsters and a mix. So I think that will make it more replayable in the future. And really, this game is much more, I think, about the company that you're with while you play it. So I think there's going to be a lot of use. You could play it over and over again. And then portability, for me, I like games that I can take with me when I go places. This one's going to come with a board, but clearly I think you can play it without a board pretty easily, which means maybe a deck box and a little Ziploc bag, and you can throw it in your suitcase or your backpack, or for me, I'll take it in my RV, and doesn't take up a whole lot of space and easy to transport. So that's a thumbs up and a plus for me. And then the most important thing is it fun? Well, as a solo game, it's good and it's engaging, but I think where it's going to shine is in a big group, in a party, and having 3 or 4 friends together, listening to heavy metal music in the background, killing the overlords. I can see a lot of laughter and joking and making fun of each other, and just getting into the spirit of the game itself. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. I'm going to back it. That's my opinion. If you have any interest in it, I'd go to the Kickstarter page and go to Board Game Geek, and you could read all about it, watch the reviews, get the rule book, print up a print and play, take a look at it, and decide if it's a game for you. For me, I think it's going to be one of those games that I put in the closet and take on trips with me. So Basically, you know, rating it between the on the table all the time versus binge playing it every month or two, or just in the closet to bring out every once in a while. I'm going to bring it out every once in a while, and probably it'll be a staple for in my RV when I travel. So that's my thoughts on this game. If you think it's worth your time, go check it out. Until next time, happy gaming.